today the theme is equality. The idea of Creative Morning is once a month we decide upon a theme, and based on theme we reach out to local speakers who has an amazing story to tell. So today we have two speakers. So first of all we have Nazia Erum. So she is an entrepreneur, author, and a TEDx speaker. So over the past maybe few years she has done lots of different things. Earlier she was a communication consultant at the Global Fund, and over here she is not going to talk about her entrepreneurship, whatever she has done, but over the past few months something different she has done. How she brought different community together, which got media coverage, and even a BBC media actually covered whatever she has done. So over to you, Nazia.
Thank you, Samarth. Good morning. So the story I'm about to share started a couple of years back. Am I loud and clear? So the story started a couple of years back when I switched off. I switched off from Aaj Ki Taza Khabar, which was basically a lot of news that only detrimental views. Switched off from Aaj Ki Taza Khabar, that was only news that gave me detrimental views. I switched off from an inflation in hatred that was rubbing into all of us, and hatred that was redrawing the lines and divides between religions. It told me that you are not me and I'm not you, and that hatred just stopped making us rue the divide. And I didn't like that. It didn't feel okay. I had grown up hearing that unto you your religion, unto me mine. That is what had been told by my divine. So I couldn't take it. I was pregnant at the time. I couldn't take it day on day on day. So I switched off on one not so fine day. I guess at different times of our lives, we react differently. At 25, I was a young, hot-blooded professional ready to retaliate. At 27, I was an horrified pregnant woman who wanted to switch off. At 30, today, I am still young, but a highly concerned mother who wants to reach out with some love. When I became a mother, I went on this journey of talking to around 100 other mothers across India, talking about how our children are growing up in today's divided world. One thing that stood out across the board was that we all are living in our own islands. We have our families, we have our extended families, we have neighbors, our relatives, workplaces, that's it. We're so busy, and yes, the online world, but we are so busy that offline contacts are limited, and we are happy in living in that island. At the same time, I read a study this year by CSDS which said only 33% of Hindus consider a Muslim among their close friends. If you have not already guessed, my name is Nazia and I'm a Muslim. So when I read that only 33% of Hindus consider a Muslim among their close friends, I wondered, what about the other 67%? So doesn't that tell us about the islands we live in? Because that 67% probably does not know me, does not know much about my religion, about my custom, about the way my house are. And so, is that why it's so easy for alternative truths to drive a wedge between the communities? Maybe. So this Ramzan, as you know, we had Eid recently, and before that a month of Ramzan where we fast the whole day, and the breaking of the fast is called iftar, and iftar is usually supposed to be a time when you reflect and you try to break bread with people around you. So this Ramzan, I put on, at the beginning of the Ramzan, put on a Facebook post saying, is there anyone who has not been to an iftar? I figure there'll be a couple of 2 or 3 people, you know, friends of friends of friends who are friends on Facebook. And to my surprise, I was flooded with comments saying never been to one. So instead of 2 or 3, I had 30 or 40. And I didn't know what to do now. You know, you cannot tell people that you've not been to an iftar and then not invite them. It's so rude. And I live in a normal flat, and I had no idea where to accommodate so many people. Then among those comments, one person said, need help. I said, does seem so. Yes, I do. Another person said, I have a big bungalow, I can accommodate 70. I'm like, okay, I have a venue. I have a cap, 70. So let's do this. Karwa badhta gaya, as they say. So by the end of the week, only through online communication, that is Facebook and WhatsApp, we had around more than 70, I believe, people coming over. We had 12 co-hosts, volunteers, who said, you know, you cannot possibly cook for 70 because iftar is supposed to be a home-cooked affair. And so let us help. So 12 came together who cooked with a lot of love, opened their house with a lot of love, and invited in complete, absolute strangers. And let me tell you, in the evening when we break our fast, it was the most beautiful thing on earth. We were a house full of 12 co-hosts who were strangers and 70 guests who were strangers and who had traveled to Noida from as far as Gurgaon. And today I've come from Noida to Gurgaon. I'll talk about the same. In the beginning, I could see the hesitation on everybody's face. Who is this? Where have we come? Because a lot of friends of friends had invited friends. Nobody knew us. And once we so in the beginning of the iftar, we started the usual way of a 2-minute talk on what is the significance of it, just to share what are we doing and why we are there. So by the time we started eating together, I could see a breaking of myths, a breaking of stereotypes, and a lot of opening of hearts. And by the end of the evening, everybody was a friend. Why was this important? Because all these people had one common denominator. They all shared a different kind of politics from the ones who were hosting it. And it was not a conscious thing that we had done. But we realized that people who are on the other side are usually people we don't know. The other is always a person we do not personally know. That is why it's so easy to believe a WhatsApp forward or a fake message or a social media thing or whatever's happening on the news. Thankfully, I switched off, and when I switched on, I realized as a concerned mother, as a concerned citizen, it's just important to reach out. Karma aur badhta gaya. By the end of the month of Ramzan, we had such interfaith iftars, as we started calling them, in Bombay, in Bangalore, in Hyderabad, in Pune, in Bhopal, wanted to do one, could not do it at the end of the day, in Guwahati, and not just at homes, but also at old age homes, at orphanages, at blind schools, and also at homes. And mostly women-driven effort, so it was like a silent revolution happening. All these women knew that today we need to open our homes, to break that stereotype of how Muslim women is, or how a Muslim house is, how our customs are. We do not wake up in the morning to gobble on fake news. We do not munch on our neighbors' religious views. As I said, we grew up hearing, unto you your religion, unto me mine. The rest is all propaganda. By the end of the month, we were covered by name it, and I guess almost all, as Samar said, we had BBC did a live FB feed from our iftar. We had 2 lakh global audience. We had HT doing editorial on us. We had, name it, Times of India, everywhere. But that was just a part of it. Because to reach out beyond those 70 or 100 per iftar that we were hosting at our houses. But those 70 and 100, today, I have seen a change in their social media feed. I have seen a sea change in the way they consume news, in the way they consume views. And hopefully, they're going to pass it on to their children. The key takeaway? Nothing preachy. The key takeaway is that today, when we feel so small, so insignificant in this global wave of hatred, we are not alone. Every concern set can just out one step of a comfort zones and co-create by collaborating to help bring about an equality perspective. The equality that I'm talking about is an equality of perspective, of equality in knowing what the other side thinks, what the other side feels, what the other side does. And it works both the ways. So today, you're not alone. And that is the only message that is there. Today we can co-create to bring all sides of politics, all sides of communities on the same page, or rather on the same plate. Let's change the world one iftar at a time. Thank you.
Good morning. Good to see you all. And I can sense that you have done well in your lives. And to reach to this stage, to have been done so well, you must have done a lot of efforts. And that's the reason you are here, isn't it? So now go back 20 to 30 years in your life, depending on your age. Don't go back in the past life. Be here. What if you were born to parents who were illiterate? What if you were born in a remote village in eastern part of the country with no access to road, electricity, and other basic amenities? What if you were born to daily wage farm laborers, in a family of daily wage farm laborers, wherein the family had enough to eat, but not much to give, to provide you fee so that you can take admission in a good school. And you had no choice but to take admission in a school with not much infrastructure, not many teachers, and very poor quality of education. But even though you knew, even though your parents know that the quality is too poor, you don't have any choice but to take admission there. What if your grandfather had taken a loan, which passes on to your father and on to you now, and you had just, you're 16-year-old, just passed your class 10th exams, and with distinction, but you had to discontinue your studies because you have to work in the farm of the moneylender as bonded laborer. So bonded labor is not a thing of the past. It's not happens only in films. It happens in India. It happens now. It happens in Gurgaon. And if we draw a 100-meter radius from this point, there is a huge probability that it might be happening just now when we are having this conversation. What if you were born in a fairly rich family, but having gone to a top university and having topped the university, and still sitting at home, not working? Sitting at home, not working is not a problem. But you had been sitting at home, not working, because you are not allowed to go out of your home. And why so? Because you are born as a girl in a particular context. So we are not equal. And why we are not equal is that we are not born equal. The biggest contributing variable for all of us present in the room, the biggest contributor for having us achieve the success, having us achieve where we are, is not. It is the pool of opportunities we have received over our lifetime, and the opportunities we are going to see in our future because of our enriched sides, where we go. So equality is a condition with similar opportunities of development for everybody in the society. And if there is an unfair situation wherein some section of the society has more privilege, more opportunities, be it health, be it education, be it employability, jobs, that leads to inequality. And if this gaps widen a lot, it leads to a situation wherein we cannot have peaceful existence. And that is the reason we must work towards achieving equality for a sustainable living. And that is the reason we started Aggressor. So Aggressor is a social impact organization working with the disadvantaged communities in India for attaining equitable access to education, employability, and entrepreneurship opportunities. So we stress on this word with, and we say that we are progressing with the community. I've seen a lot of organizations saying that we are working for the poor, we are making their lives better, we are the ones who have led them from poverty trap to, now where they are. But it's not true. What an organization like us can do is to provide opportunities so that they have choices to make. Ultimate decision lies with them. And it is their efforts which lead them out of the poverty trap. It is their effort which makes them educated. And this is what we stress upon. So I started my career as an engineer and worked in telecommunications sector for some time. I was working in a manufacturing factory. I realized that there is no correlation between a person who is highly educated, who is an ITI or a diploma holder, and a 10th pass. The reason is they are not taught skills. They just do some, even in ITIs and all the diploma courses, you read mostly books, even in your BTech and BE. I'm sure there will be a lot of BE, BTech sitting here in this room, and you can, agree with me. You will agree with me that we are focused more on books. So we thought that we'll develop a skill development program wherein we train people and get them placed. So we train people not in domain specific knowledge. We do not train people in quick service restaurant. We do not train people for retail industry. We do not train people for any particular industry. We train people into foundational skills. The reason is we want to give them choices. Under the Skill India program, which you would be following, many of you would be following, there are trade specific skills, wherein you train a person in a particular skill and the person has to go in that particular domain. That restricts its choices. How about training that person in those skills which cut across the segment and are most important? Going to a retail industry, you do not require knowledge of retail industry. You require skills like communication skills, basic IT, a little bit of English, so that you can get a job there. So that is what we focus upon. One of the challenges we face in our employability program is that after training them, we place them. We have trained and placed more than 4,000 people so far. But the placement percentage of boys is significantly greater than placement percentage of girls. We have a center in Mathura as well, wherein it's like 5-6 months, and we have placed 15-20 people. There's a new center, but we are not able to place even a single girl. So that means we are not able to make an impact in that direction. So there are various factors. The families do not allow them to go out of their homes. There are other factors we have to consider. Then our next program is Aggressor Bachpan. After working in the sector, employability sector, we realized that most of the people who come to us are those who have not received proper education. Had they achieved proper education, they would not have needed a skill development program, a 3-month skill development program in basic skills. Because things like communication skills, interpersonal skills, basic IT, you ought to learn at school level. And we did a survey and found that there were 50,000 children in Gurgaon, 50,000 children in Gurgaon in the age group of 5 to 14 who are not even enrolled in any school. And we are talking about the Millennium City. So we, under our Aggressor Bachpan program, we have 5 centers when we teach children who do not go to schools, bring them to age-appropriate learning levels, and then mainstream them into formal education. So we have mainstreamed more than 100 children so far into various schools, government schools, private schools like DPS and other under EWS quota. We also work with the government school. There are government schools in Gurgaon wherein there are 300 students, but just 2 or 3 teachers. How can they teach them? We have this tendency of saying that government school teachers do not work, they do not put efforts. But how can a teacher handle a class of 100 children? So we provide our teachers there. We help them in taking administration issues, etc. We realize that many of the mothers of our children who are studying under Aggressor Bachpan program are not working. And why are not they working? Because there is no support mechanism at home. There is nobody to take care of their children at home, and they don't have enough money to put them into creches. So we thought that if they cannot reach out to work, can it happen that work can reach them? So we started this profitable social enterprise by the name of Society Maker, wherein we are saying that if we train these homemakers into making certain products, as of now we are focusing on jute products, and help them market those products, they will earn some money and may be used to use that money wisely for the development of their family, be it health or education of their children. And from homemaker, they are transformed into society maker. That's what we are focusing on. And we have made a lot of products in that, and we put up stalls, and there's various ways we sell these products. So we are a team of 75 people now. We have doctors in our team, we have engineers, we have social people who have done MSWs, people who have done rural management, we have people from the community. And it's being a 6-year-old organization, we are a team of young people who are competent to deal with a lot of challenges. However, we also give a lot of importance on volunteering, and I thought that we take this opportunity to pitch and get some volunteers, because that adds a lot of value in our. And very recently we have started this initiative which we are calling as Kagaz Ki Kashti, because while working in government schools, we realized that there is a lot of punishment. The children are just beaten without any reason, and we also got some videos of that, and that pained us. And we started this initiative wherein we will try and engage with the school and other stakeholders like parents of children and have a conversation with them. So we have this 3-pronged approach wherein we will have dialogue. First, we'll support them. We'll support the teachers. Teachers are also frustrated. They say that in frustration we beat children. So we are giving them this proposition that we will help you move out of this frustration. Stop beating children. We'll help you in your tasks. This we are going to do. But in case that still doesn't work, we are ready to give them certain shock also. There are mechanisms in the government, there are mechanisms in the law which we can rely upon and make sure that there is no corporal punishment in school. This is our other programs are funded by various corporates under their CSR and other funding. But this program is completely run by volunteers, because it is like working, because corporates would look at it as if we are working against the government, and funding this program at this stage, getting funds for this program at this stage is very difficult. So I thought that instead of getting corporate funds and running this program in a restricted manner, let us have a volunteering, let us do this with volunteers. And we already have 5-6 volunteers who are working on it, on a consistent basis, but we need more people to help us. And then we have this website, kagazkikashti.in, so that in case anybody is interested, you can go, you can visit the website and you can write to me and show your interest. Thank you.